I'm Alison from FX Scouts. In this video, we're going to be discussing the Head and Shoulders candlestick pattern. Now, the Head and Shoulders candlestick pattern is a multi-candlestick pattern, just like the bull flag, and it basically signals that a breakout is about to occur, but traders generally look at it on a longer time frame rather than the shorter 1 or 5 minute time frames. So this is a technical analysis video, and we produced many of these videos on our channel. So if you want more information on various indicators and various charting tools, please go check out our videos, and please remember to subscribe and like. So I'm just going to jump into it, and I'm going to show you exactly what the Head and Shoulders patterns look like and how you can identify where the breakout is going to occur. So if you look over here, this is a Head and Shoulders image, and as you can see, it's not perfect. It doesn't all line up, but with these patterns, approximates will be good enough. So this is the one shoulder, here is the head, and this is the other shoulder. So in other words, the security goes up, it moves sideways, moves up again, goes sideways or consolidates, then it moves down, and what most traders think is that it will retest the high, and so they set up a buy order at this point. But what happens more often is that the price drops and completes that Head and Shoulders pattern. So what you want to look for in this instance is you want to find the Head and Shoulders, the upright Head and Shoulders, and once you identify the Head and Shoulders, you should expect that price to break out to the bottom. So that's the usual Head and Shoulders pattern. As I said, it's not always going to be perfect. You're not always going to have an equal Head and Shoulders. But the more you look at these charts, the more you'll start to identify when you can see these Head and Shoulders patterns. Now, there's also something called an inverted Head and Shoulders. So this is what happens when a price is set to break out to the upside. So as you can see here, you have an inverted Head and Shoulders. This over here is where it would have been a good time to buy. So now if we go back to the non-inverted or the normal Head and Shoulders pattern where the price will break to the downside, if you look here, it looks like an ascending support level. So traders may be tempted to buy at the dip right over here. But if you look closely, it then tries to go back up, but you can see it is now meeting resistance. And this is what gives you the signal that it's a bearish breakout or that it's going to break out to the downside. Okay, so I just want to show you a few more examples just so that you get the hang of identifying the Head and Shoulders. So if you look at this pattern, it forms a shoulder, then it pulls back slightly, then it goes up, and then it goes down very sharply below that previous support, consolidates a bit, and then drops. And the key here is to look out for that sharp drop after the formation of the head. And that is an indication that it's going to form another shoulder or consolidate a bit and then drop to the downside. The inverted Head and Shoulders is sometimes more difficult to spot, but here you can see how there is a shoulder which rallies up a bit before dropping into the formation of the head. Then there's a sharp rise above that previous resistance, and it consolidates a bit, and then it continues to the upside. So now Head and Shoulders patterns are very powerful indicators, but there are a few rules for trading them, and they're not going to always work out the way you think they are. And a lot of this has to do with trading volume. So if there are a lot of traders that are sitting on the sidelines just like you, waiting for the second shoulder to form and then to trade the up or downside, depending on whether it's a inverted or a normal Head and Shoulders pattern, then you are sure that they're going to probably see the same thing and that you're going to make the right trading decision and that you're going to gain more profit. You also want to make sure, of course, that the fundamentals support your trading decision. So if there is no catalyst for trading in a certain direction, in other words, for example, there are interest rate decisions or inflation announcements that seem opposed to the direction of your currency, then I would also be a bit cautious. Just make sure that when you are trading the Head and Shoulders patterns, and especially when you're starting out, that you want to trade in the direction that the fundamentals support. In other words, the Head and Shoulders patterns will get much more resolution or will play out in the way you think they will if there's a high trading volume and if there's a catalyst for it going in the direction that you think it will. Now, you'll also want to look for other indicators that suggest that your prediction or your forecast is valid. So this is the dollar index, which has been looking strong over the last few weeks with the Fed's hawkish stance on interest rates. You then see an inverted head and shoulders here with a strong bullish move after the formation of their head. You also have a crossover of the moving averages over here. The 200 MA confirms an upward trend. There's a crossover of the MACD, and the RSI is above 50, so it suggests also an upward momentum. So all of this is plenty confirmation that there'll be upward momentum after the inverted head and shoulders forms. Also, if you see, for example, a bullish signal on a shorter time frame and you see a bullish signal on a longer time frame, then you're also sure that this is a confirmation that the trend will likely go in the direction that you think it will. So if you have a head and shoulders formation and you see it's in a downward trend on the longer time frame, then you can be sure that a breakout to the downside is likely to occur. And this is also because more eyes will see that pattern, which means more resolution, and it almost becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions about head and shoulders or any other chart patterns or indicators, please don't hesitate to send them through to us. Our website is fxscouts.com. And again, please remember to subscribe and like.